You don't type like that. GG Fanatics. Also, GG Loud. You lot played so well. Oh my gosh. Like, yo. Okay, I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing. But
That's no worry, bro.
but that's the impression you get out of it.
Listen.
The guy's never spoken like that ever.
I wrote GG Fnatic, that went down to the wire. Well played to Loud also. Don't remember the last time I enjoyed a match prior to this. That's just me. That's me
Was it
writing
the
what
Valorant team?
normal.
The
Yeah,
Valorant
it
team.
was VCT.
Wait, hold on. All right. Read that out again. Read that out again.
GG Fnatic, that went down to the wire. Well played to Loud also. I don't remember the last time I enjoyed a match prior to this.
But you know where he's misleading you, Said. You know where he's
Where?
misleading you. He's not saying the fact that it's capital GG, capital F Fnatic, exclamation mark. So you know in the tweet, yeah? Hold on. So you know in a tweet, you know when you read that and you don't know the person, do you know how you read that in your head? GG Fnatic. I don't remember the last time I enjoyed the match like this.
Dun dun dun. The Dunya'S going crazy.
All right, I like the, you know what? I like what I did last week, man. I like what I did last week of just like giving like motivational, like, you know what I'm saying, stuff that I can't. Cause you know what, my timeline is just MMA, fitness, like MMA fitness stuff, and then like life motivation, and then like athletic women on IG. That's all you'll see on my explore page on Instagram.
Mine is gym stuff, anime, and cars.
Anime
And
or
F1.
MMA?
Anime.
Oh, anime. I said MMA. I was like, when did you start watching MMA?
I don't know what it is, man. I just can't get into MMA.
You know what? Before I even do this, you know what I can't get into? Hold on. Why can't you get into MMA? What's your reasoning behind it?
I don't think I have a good reason. I just, whenever I watch it, I just don't feel the same energy I would like watching something else.
Is it the same for you? Is it the same for boxing?
Not so much. No, I actually enjoy boxing a bit more than I think, but it depends on the fights.
That does not make
to be
sense to
honest.
me. That does not make sense to me.
It depends more on the fights.
Okay, that's a different story.
Like, it depends on the matchup. Because if the matchup is like very stale and boring, then I'm gonna feel the same way.
Me, you know what? I just have a handful of fighters in MMA that I like enjoy watching, and I just follow them. And I can't watch other ones, but I stick to them. But boxing, in the other hand, I find that very boring. It's too long, a lot of hugging. You know, it's just not fun.
But it's got nothing to do with, for example, like the violence of it all.
No.
No.
Like you have no.
I like grappling in MMA.
Yeah, so but like watching either MMA or boxing, like you have no issue with like the violence, like that they show, or like, you know, them hitting each other and all that blood. It's nothing to do with that.
No.
No.
Yeah, short
Cool.
short answer. I would just say that I think I've been desensitized over time.
Fair enough. So the reason I bring up violence, right, and the reason I want to go on this little tangent thing, have you lot seen this new thing that it's Dana White as well from the UFC? He's bringing this out. Well, he's already brought it out. There's already been a couple events of it, but it's called the Power Slap League. Have you lot seen this? Have you lot been what? Have you lot been seeing like
something similar?
So it's basically two people oppose each other like this, and it's just they slap each other.
Oh, I've seen like little clips of it. Yeah.
I didn't know that's
It's a whole event. It's a league that Dana White is in charge of, I guess, and he's like promoting it and stuff like this. And there's like rules and stuff. So it's two people opposite each other, and then there's rounds as well. I forgot how many rounds. Obviously, I think each round is just like one slap each. And I don't know how many rounds it is. But essentially, so you take turns slapping each other. You have 30 seconds to wind up, right, your slap. And then you have 30 seconds after getting slapped. You have 30 seconds to recover, right? So
Okay.
that way, like, you know, if you don't recover, then you've been knocked out or technically knocked out. So KO or TKO. And then if you don't, they judge it on points. Like there's judges that do the whole boxing thing of, oh yeah, 9 points to you, 10 points to you, or whatever it is. You know, like, you know, the standard like
Yeah.
point system in boxing. So it's that. But I don't understand the point system. Well, there's so many things I don't understand about this, but I don't understand the point system. How do you know who's lost that round? They've both slapped each other and they've both gotten up. How do you know who's won that round?
For me personally, I understand how it's weird for you. For me, honestly, when you see the other person, one of them getting slapped, you can see that they're acting like everything is okay. Like in their eyes, you can see, oh, you know what? They're acting like, oh, everything's fine. But then in the back of their mind is like, holy shit, that really hurt. I can tell when that happens. And also, I guess for me, primarily, I looked at the clips, right? And the clips, it is kind of biased. It shows, it's like, for example, the music speeds up when you know, the victor, or like the most power, the one that slapped the hardest, it speeds up. Another guy, you know, does different kind of music
But
to him as well.
that's theatrics though. That's part of it. You have to do that stuff. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it. I think when people complain about like MMA or UFC or like one championship or Muay Thai and then boxing, when they complain that these sports are too violent, right?
Yeah.
I've always kind of fallen back on the side of, I've always fallen on the argument of, I can see why you would call it violent, but it does require a high level amount of skill in order for them to be so violent. Does that make
Definitely.
sense? Like
Yeah.
you can't just go in there and do that stuff with no skill and be violent. Right? Like, to me anyway, like I can look past the violence because they're doing such skillful things. I don't understand where the skill is in slapping each other. I feel like
Me
that's
neither,
just,
yeah.
bro, that's just power. And there's rules, like if you're the person getting hit, right? You're not allowed to tuck your
Yeah.
chin, obviously. You're not allowed to flinch. And then obviously you're not allowed to block it. So you just kind of have to stand there and receive it. And then if you're the person slapping, there's like, you have to hit with your whole hand. You can't have your palm like forward like this, so you can't just
Yeah.
hit with your palm. Your slap has to be above the chin, but below the ear. So it has to be like, so your whole hand has to make a contact with this part of the face. Like, there's an entire rule set base and all these type of things. But I don't see the skill. I just
Me
see it
neither.
as like a strength contest that involves like really like concussing a person.
I think also, could it also be that it's also pain tolerance, who can tolerate the most pain as well?
But that's not. I don't know. That's not, to me. That's not entertaining. That's not
Yeah, me
entertaining. To
neither.
I don't see, like, I can see how it's entertaining to see people get knocked out, but it's like there was no skill involved in that person getting knocked out. So I'm not interested in seeing how that person got knocked out.
Okay, and I have one more thing to add on to that. Yeah,
Mm.
hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
How about if can somebody win based on their skin tone?
Oh, man, shut up, man.
No, seriously, listen to
No,
this.
we're gonna move on. What are
listen.
you
You know what?
talking
No,
about, bro?
you need.
What
You
are
know
you
what?
talking about right now?
Let's just cut it there and
Yeah,
No,
we're gonna
seriously.
no stop.
Okay, before you cut it. No, seriously.
no.
Because imagine you're white, you get slapped, you have like a red hairprint on you. That's clear. They can see the whole side of your face is red. Whereas if you're slapping a black guy, you won't really see that in it. So it's like
Okay.
that can
Well,
give points.
All right, cool. We're gonna listen.
let's move on.
We're gonna move on. Let me see. What do I want for you guys to hear today? Okay, we'll do this one because we love Denzel.
Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. Keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
See you at work. See you at work, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. Another one. Another one. They just keep coming. They keep rolling. Same time as well. Like it doesn't ever like just what's the word? It doesn't ever go off on a tangent. Do you know what I'm saying? It's always at the same time, at the same day. You know what I'm saying? The same moment. These episodes just keep coming for you. You feel me? So if you like the episodes and you love the other content, do you know what I'm saying? Just subscribe just so that you can get more of it. You feel me? Just so that you don't ever miss any of it. Listen to Denzel over here. You feel me? This is work. See you at work, he said. Ease is a bigger threat to progress than hardship. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He spoke to me when he said that because last week, we released an episode last week, right? And actually, before I get into all that, let me get into all that. People, welcome. Welcome to another episode, another offering, another show of this professional production of the Dunya'S Gone Crazy. Yeah? Oh yeah, like I said from last week. Episode 8, part 1. We'll call this episode 8.
Oh, yeah.
This is episode 8, part 1. Welcome to this show, man. To all the returning listeners, thank you for joining us again. I hope you enjoy the show again. For the first time listeners, you know, we appreciate you for tuning in. I hope you enjoy your stay over here. If you're new to us, if you're new to the setup, this is essentially just a show all about highlighting some of the week's most outrageous, heartbreaking, and just crazy, really crazy stories that just show you how much the Dunya'S gone crazy. Or at the very least, how much is going crazier from when we were very, very young boys. You know what I'm saying? Sitting at home in front of the TV, watching, what was my first cartoon in London? Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was my first. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Generation X. I don't know. We might get copyrighted for that. I signed that pretty well. So yeah, if at any point of listening to the video you find yourself liking the video, then please like the video so that, you know what I'm saying, you can show us your support and all these things. And at any point you say to yourself, you think to yourself, you know what, I like listening from these guys. I like the vibe. I like the energy. Then, like I said earlier, subscribe to the energy. You feel me? Subscribe to the channel so that you can get more from us in the future and you won't miss anything. And you know what? If you like it as well, we have more in the catalog. Do you feel me? We have a good amount.
Oh, I like that catalog.
You know what I'm saying? We have a good amount in the catalog now. We have a good, you know, the discography isn't so big, but it's enough for you to sort of binge and enjoy yourselves and all these things. So go ahead and do all that. We have a lot of stories to get through today, but before we get into all of that, boys, how we doing? How are you guys doing today? How's your week been?
My week has been amazing. How has your week been?
Wait, we'll just go to Camille. We'll just go to you.
I don't know. It's just been a tough week. Just exhausted, to be honest. But
That's crazy. Because
right.
last week, weren't you sick last week? Or was that the week before?
Yeah, I was.
Bro, this guy.
Was it last week? I mean, I've been sick for like 2 weeks before, so.
This guy is just recovering
coming
from sickness, and then now he's having a tough week. You know what I'll do as well? We mentioned it before we started recording. My guy Camille, like for the past week, he's been like on his daily. Has it been daily? Daily streams. Almost daily streams. I don't know how consistent he's gonna be. Hopefully he's gonna be consistent. His link will be in the bio or in the description. I said bio. I'm so used to Instagram. His link will be in the description, so check him out. Go give him a follow, so that we can get all that business out of the way. What was I getting into before I? Oh yes. So last week we released an episode, and I was so busy from
Mhm.
from when we released that episode till till today, right? But I wasn't so like I was so busy, right? But all the free time I had, I wasn't productive at all. All the free time I had, I just spent like either gaming or like binging shows, and I was so mad at myself like at the end of it all, because we released an episode last week. I didn't edit a single short. I didn't edit a single clip, and I did nothing for that episode. And
Mhm.
I feel like that episode was actually such a sick episode because we went through like so much, and we got to talk about so much and all these other things, and I did nothing with it to like promote it and or like create clips and highlights from it, and I'm so
Yeah.
mad. So I think I might just do that retroactively, um and spend the rest of my time now editing this and then the one from last week, so that I can show you the audience if you haven't seen the last one. I think it was a great episode, so check it out. But I'm gonna release clips and highlights from that as well, because I feel really bad. I feel really bad. I feel like I did myself and the people um, injustice by doing that.
Mhm.
So
Well, you get sucked into just
yeah,
watching a bunch of stuff.
yeah, like I just wasted so much time. I did so like I don't know, like I was busy, and then when I wasn't
Mhm.
busy, I wasted time essentially.
Yeah, I think a lot of our viewers and us can relate to that. To be fair.
Maybe. Hopefully. Let us know in the comments if you can relate to that. Let us know in the comments if you can relate to that. We do have a few stuff to get through today. So should we just get right into it? We should just get right into
Yeah, I
it.
would love to.
The first story of the day is gonna be the saddest story of the day. It's gonna be like the most shocking. Remember when I told you heartbreaking? It's gonna
Yeah.
be this. I just wanted to get it out of the way. Not because it's insignificant, but so that the rest of the show we won't be so down. But first story of the day: CCTV image released after elderly man set on fire outside a mosque.
Hmm.
So, in what the Metropolitan Police Detective Sergeant Stephen Constable, what a great name, Stephen Constable. He was supposed to be. I don't know if Constable was his last name. I'm getting sidetracked. Described as an incredibly shocking incident. Police have now released a CCTV image of a man that they want to speak to after an 82-year-old man was set alight outside of a mosque in West London. So this happened in the, what did they call it? West London Islamic Center, I think. It was in West Ealing on the 27th of February, so last month, and it was an evening. So it could have been Maghrib, it could have been Isha prayer, we don't know. But it was after prayer, and the man, they don't really know like what happened. They didn't release, like, I don't know if they caught the incident on camera. I'm guessing they didn't. But they've released the man that they suspect to have caused the burning of the 82-year-old person.
Yeah.
And some of the images they released showed the suspect like praying.
So was this inside the mosque?
Well, no, he before he left. So
Oh, I see.
the burning happened outside the mosque.
Hmm.
But before the burning, both men were in the mosque,
Yeah.
and the man and the suspect was like, some of the images they showed was him like praying, bro. He was praying.
Hmm.
He was like, it looked like he was what's the
Sujood?
no, not sujood, when you're sitting down at the end before salam. He was in that position.
Hmm.
And I was so baffled. Like, it just confused me, like, to like the greatest degree I've ever been confused in my life. Like, this man, just came out of prayer, left prayer, and didn't even travel like for a very long time. He just left prayer. He's still outside the mosque, and then he decided to burn another man.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And they didn't release any more any more information outside of those things. And there's, as far as I'm concerned, there haven't really been any updates, so we don't know if they have custody of this man yet. But I couldn't believe what I saw. I couldn't
Yeah,
believe
this
what I
is
saw.
very strange because you'd expect this from a lot of Islamophobes and a lot of people that are attacking. But when
100%.
you have a story where this person prays with the person and then goes out, honestly, I don't know. There's not much we can say. I don't think it's religious targeted. I guess I would say, but
That's what
maybe
I'm.
the guy's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking like there has to be more to this story. Like
Yeah.
they have to know each other. They have
Mhm.
to, like, because setting someone on fire
Yeah.
outside of a mosque right after prayer sounds so personal to me. And
Yeah.
the man, the suspect doesn't look it doesn't look old. He looks like he could be in his late 20s to mid 30s. And
Okay.
so my head went to, oh my goodness, did this guy maybe like ask the man's daughter's hands in marriage,
Hmm.
and then he was declined, and so this is like a revenge. Did the man do something to him? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so confused. Like, I want to know more about this story.
Yeah, definitely. But honestly, just it's the story itself, even with the limited details, it does sound really crazy. It's like mind-boggling.
I've never heard
Definitely.
of a story like this before.
Mhm.
Because you know what? You mentioned Islamophobes, right? There's an imam. His name is Imam Omar Suleiman.
Yeah.
So I don't know if his mosque, but there's a mosque that he presides over in Dallas, Texas,
Hmm.
and he tells the story of every single day, like 24/7. There's always Islamophobes and like haters and like um, people standing outside of the mosque,
Yeah.
protesting the mosque and protesting against the Muslims inside the mosque, and they have guns and all these things
Yeah.
outside the mosque. But as far as I'm concerned, I've never, obviously I don't know all the stories, but he's never told the story of one of them doing something like that to any of the
Hmm.
Muslims outside of the mosque.
Yeah.
I feel like a mosque is just so like out of bounds.
Hmm.
So that's what makes me believe like this has to be personal. Either
Yeah.
that or this man is just like deeply like just deeply
Disturbed, maybe.
disturbed, like something in the brain is just isn't working in the greatest of ways possible.
Yeah. No,
It's
I agree.
I'm so confused. I want to know more.
Something doesn't add up.
Yeah, something's not adding up. Something's not adding up. Like I was watching, so I told you guys last week I'm watching this show called Blacklist. And in one of the episodes they showed in one of the episodes there were these people called the Vem, and basically
Mhm.
there were these people that would go out and kidnap alleged pedophiles and like kill them basically.
Yeah.
um and so like that just leads me to like, but the way they did it was so brutal. Like, for example, they would melt lead and like shower it onto the person or into the mouth of the person until they die, right? So like this is obviously an extreme version of it. So like it makes me think stuff like it has to be personal. It has to be like
Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be personal. It has to be either personal or like the man is severely like disturbed and something's very wrong in his brain.
Did they
And
mention the person that got burned? Did he get burned to death?
no, so fortunately, the elderly man was not fatally injured, but he did receive hospital treatment for severe burns to his face and his arms. And
Alhamdulillah, he's alive.
alhamdulillah, he's alive. So apparently he was they say that the guy actually threw, what do you call this, liquid on him, and it smelled like petrol, and then burnt him. They don't they don't really talk about any, if there were any witnesses, because they don't really go too much into the story, and as far as I'm concerned, they haven't updated the story yet. So hopefully next week we'll have some update to this. If we do, I'll share it with you guys. But it's so interesting. I wanna know so much more because it seems so random. It seems so random.
Yeah, planned.
Yeah, planned because he had petrol, right?
Yeah, who would just go to a mosque with a petrol and just go pray and then come out? It has to be
You
planned.
could have traveled there by car and just had a jerry can in the back. It's not. I wouldn't say it's uncommon to have a jerry can in your car.
No, but
with petrol in
think of it this way, Camille. Yeah. So you go in a mosque, you come out, and if you want to harm somebody, you think, oh, I have petrol in my car. I'm gonna get it out. I'm gonna go burn him. Now, probably the first thing you would think is probably just punch him or something. Do something. But that just sounds like extra steps.
Like,
So
I'm
he
not
must have
saying
thought
it's weird, not weird for him to do that kind of attack. I'm just saying it's not. I wouldn't say it's uncommon if he was driving a vehicle to have a jerry can in the back of his car.
Like both scenarios is definitely possible.
Yeah.
That's great.
But
Like you know what? Let's get into this because I do wanna let's play conspiracy. Let's play conspiracy real quick. So my theory is that these two know each other. I think the suspect had a heavy like grudge against this man, and I think it was planned, and I think he did already have petrol in the can, and he just and as soon as they left, I think he might have been asking for forgiveness for what he was about to do, which is something you don't do anyway. That's why he was praying, and then like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think they know each other.
okay.
I think they know each other. I think they know each other.
Can I tell you my theory?
What's your theory?
That what your one is likely. I can see it, but my one is very unlikely. What if this person wanted to harm a Muslim, but it didn't want to be, promoted as, oh, this anti-Muslim because that helps Muslim. So what if he learned how to pray, went in, prayed, and then, saw an innocent, a vulnerable old man, burnt him, and here the news can't say, this is an anti-Muslim, so they just say, oh, this is another Muslim. They would be damaging Islam more because it would be like a Muslim that did it. You know what I mean?
That's crazy theory. Ah, that's crazy. Imagine that was true. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. It's the same thing that they used to do back then, where it was like a lot of the black on black crimes that they used to do was like it was set up just to look that way. Just so that it would look, just so that they can report on the news, this was just another killing amongst their people. So we don't really have to worry about that, or we don't really have to care about that. It's just them killing each other. That's crazy. That's crazy. I can see it though. I can definitely see it. Do you have any different theories from us, Camille?
No. I was actually leaning more towards the one James was talking about, to be fair. But I don't know, it just bothers me. It just bothers me how there's hardly any information about this.
I know.
Yeah, definitely.
Article.
Unfortunately, well, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, but the UK, the way their police and procedural stuff works is that they like to keep things close before they release anything. In the US, like these journalists just go like vultures. Like as soon as something happens, like you find out everything all at once within like a week. But yeah. Quick recovery, inshallah, for the elderly man. He was 82 years old.
Inshallah.
Bro, he was 82 years old, bro. Like, I don't know how much trauma your body can endure at 82-year-old. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not a young man anymore. We're gonna move on to our second story of the day. Something slightly scary-ish, depending on how you look at things, but not as sad, thankfully. Or it could be, again, depending on how you look at things. Headline goes, China and TikTok threaten U.S. intelligence chief say. Yikes. So, a bunch of heads or directors and chiefs of America's top sort of what would you call them, agencies? So FBI, national intelligence, and I think someone from the military was there as well, and other people were basically held a hearing with the Senates. So they spoke with some of the U.S. senators, and they were like in a courtroom or whatever, and they were talking about a lot of stuff as far as I could tell. But one of the things they were talking about was TikTok. And so I'll just give you a quote from Avril Haines. So she's the director of national intelligence, and she says the Chinese Communist Party, or the CCP, represents both the leading and most consequential threat to U.S. national security and leadership globally, and its intelligence-specific ambitions and capabilities make it our most serious and consequential intelligence rival. So at this point, she was just talking about the Chinese Communist Party, nothing about TikTok yet. And then, so the clips got chopped up and all these things. And so there was an exchange between Marco Rubio, who's a U.S. Senator, and FBI Director Christopher Wray. The U.S. Senator asked Christopher Wray, could they use TikTok to control data on millions of users? He says yes. Could they like blankly and like straightforward as well, like yes, just like that. And he goes, could they use it to control the software on millions of devices given the opportunity to do so? Again, blankly, like pointward. He goes, yes. And then he adds that this is a tool, TikTok, that is ultimately within the control of the Chinese government. And to me, it screams out with national security concerns. Any thoughts?
My immediate thought is, first of all, Americans be hypocritical. You know, they have a lot of apps as well, like Instagram, Facebook, and stuff, because we know that the government influences them as well in a certain way. But yeah, I believe TikTok is a threat, and I know that they know it's a threat. Even I mean, I don't know if we want to get into it right now, but even the way the content in TikTok is in the West, as opposed to the way it is in China. One example I can give you is in China, the content is more inspirational and more educational and stuff, whereas here is all dancing and waste of time content. So you can see how they can influence young
Apparently,
people's mind.
I don't mean to. I don't look. Apparently, that's false.
False.
Yeah. So apparently, I don't know this for a fact, but apparently, so there's this comedian called Andrew Schultz, and he also has a podcast where he mentioned the idea that content in China and content in the US are very different in the way that you've described it. And then in another episode of the podcast, he admitted that he just sort of came up with that.
Is it?
Yeah. He like he had no evidence of anything. Like he just said it. Like he was just making it up. And like a bunch of news outlets and a bunch of journalists picked it up from him and kind of just ran with it with no evidence or other research done whatsoever. So
Okay.
I don't know if he's telling the truth, but as far as I know, there's actually no legitimacy behind the claim that the content we consume in the West is different from the content they consume in China. Although although these contents are all just algorithm based. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to be country to country. Like even if me, you, and Camille were all living in where I live now, or all living in London, because of how different we are as people, our
Yeah.
algorithms are gonna be different anyway. So the stuff we're gonna see are different. Like for example, I might see more dancing, you might see more singing, Camille might see more tajweeds and all these things. So I don't know about all that. And just the other thing too, with you when you said like how did you say that the US are hypocritical, you said?
That's what I find. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So just to play a little bit of a thing, a devil's advocate, the I guess the main difference that the US will argue is that the Chinese TikTok is owned by a Chinese firm. I forgot the name of the Chinese firm. But what the US allege is that the Chinese Communist Party are directly involved with that firm. And so
Okay.
they argue that whatever it is that we see on TikTok or whatever, or like the data that we input into TikTok or the algorithms that TikTok generate as a result of the data that we give them, the Chinese Communist Party have those data. Like they have those information for them to extrapolate and interpret and like use against the US, I suppose, or like
Yeah.
to spy on the US. And with things like Facebook or Instagram, or I don't know if Snapchat is American, but Snapchat or like even Twitter, they will argue that the US is not directly involved with those things. Like the US government doesn't have a hand in those things. And so those apps, those websites, those companies are independent of the US government. So their data, the government doesn't have access to.
Yeah. Well, how about if you look at it from a different perspective? Think of these apps and these companies as just a vault that stores information. I think either government will seek access to these vaults of information, and there's not much these companies can do. So if so you can say, okay, maybe the Chinese government don't directly control the information and everything, but at any point if they wanted any form of information, what is this Chinese company going to do? What can they do to stop them from getting this data?
The idea is that the argument is that they already do.
Hmm.
The argument is that they what do you call this, that they already have a hand in all that stuff.
Hmm.
They already are looking at it. And that the company is essentially just another extension of the government.
Hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
argument that they make.
Okay, so here's my question: do you think it's similar the way TikTok is with the Chinese government as like Instagram and TikTok are? Sorry,
Well,
Instagram and.
that's the question in it, because obviously the US government will tell you no, it's not similar at all. The US government will tell you that they don't have any access to your data. Well, not just the US government, but these companies will tell you, obviously for privacy reasons, they'll tell you, like, we don't have any, the government doesn't have any access to our data. Um, the government isn't, spying on you through our applications or websites and such. And you're completely safe with us.
Mhm.
They'll argue that, and then the U.S. will say the same. The U.S. government will say the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's a thing of, can you really trust that?
Yeah. Definitely.
That's at the end of the day, that's the question, is like, do you believe that? Do
Mhm.
you believe that the U.S. is doesn't have any sort of reach or hand in the data that these companies are receiving
Mhm.
from people? Because that's the game now, man. The game is all about data now, man. Like,
Yeah.
in the place that I work in now, like at the register, it's all about data, bro. Like, hey, what do you call this? Blah 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 blah. We have this promo going on right now. Blah 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 blah. If you sign up with us today, right? If you give us your phone number and email address, we'll give you an additional 10% off on your purchase or off your receipt. So
Yeah.
the company is willing to pay 10% of whatever that purchase is, right? Say the thing is say the product is worth $100. The company is willing to pay that person, or not pay, but the company is willing to lose to that person $10 in order to receive that person's contact details.
Yeah.
It's all about data, and then that contact details, then it's all about marketing. So they're sort of, it's an investment at the end of the day, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
we don't mind losing the $10 now, because by getting by losing the $10, what we're hoping is we'll be able to send you more and more advertisements and marketing, so that you'll spend more with us and you can become a true customer with us. It's the
Yeah.
cost of acquisition, I think is
Yeah.
what they call it.
And also, you can make money off of just taking that person's information and just
Selling
selling
them.
it.
Yeah, selling data. Yeah, 100%. That's 100% how a lot of companies make money in the US. And like, I don't know about you guys, but when I lived in London, I didn't get as much spam calls as much as I get them here now. Like,
Mm.
bro, I get at least 5 every day.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like, at
That's
least.
ridiculous.
That's
At
actually
least.
ridiculous.
And that's just the calls. That's not even the text. I get at least 10 texts every day. Oh, your Netflix, your Amazon, you haven't paid insurance this, insurance that,
Yeah. Yeah.
accident
I
this,
get a lot of
accident that.
emails that are like that.
But the emails, you
Emails.
kind of just, it's junk in it. Like, it's just junk. It just goes kind of straight to junk most of the time. Bro, these people are able to reach my phone and it rings.
Yeah.
And it rings. I'm just glad
Well,
that, go on.
No, for me, it was a lot at one point, but I've noticed it like slowing down for me. Maybe it's because like I pick up and say I'm not interested. Can you take me off your list? I say that every time and
Of
then I
them,
hang
oh
up.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so maybe that helped me get out of it.
I
And I
don't,
think for me, it comes in waves. Like sometimes I won't get called for like months, and then the next I'll get called almost every day, once at least.
like a London bus. No, I hear it.
Mhm.
I hear it's just, bro, like the US is so crazy with the spam calls. And yeah, you're right. That's 100% how they make their money. It's just selling data like that. And so with that in mind, you know, like the US will say they don't have access to these things, but if the government says I'll buy your data, who can really, who will really say no? Who has more
Yeah.
money than the US government, realistically?
Yeah.
So they'll be ready to buy it. I don't know, man. But just going back to the the TikTok thing, I do wonder though, right? Do you guys remember the hearing of Mark Zuckerberg when he had to sit in front of the US Senate?
Yeah.
and like there were videos of that people edited and created showing just how uninformed like the US Senate were about like modern social media and modern um social networking platforms.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Do you remember those videos? And I'm just wondering, right? Because Mark kind of alluded to it in some of his responses. So when the US Senate here asks, could they use TikTok to control data on millions of users, or could they use it to control the software on millions of devices given the opportunity to do so? And the FBI director says yes. I'm just wondering, right? From a technicality perspective,
Hmm.
when he says, could they use TikTok to control data on millions of users? Yes. Like, doesn't like if TikTok decided I want to ban your video,
Hmm.
isn't that technically controlling the data of that user?
Hmm. I
So
mean, I don't see it.
what I'm trying to say here is that when when he says, so when TikTok controls the data, so for example, when you give access to an app, to for example Instagram, when you give Instagram access to your photos,
Mhm.
they're technically now able to control your data, technically.
Yeah, so they can see your pictures and your folders and stuff like that.
Right. But there's no malicious intent behind it, or
Mhm.
at least as far as we're concerned. So on a technicality perspective,
Yeah.
the FBI director isn't lying when he says yes, TikTok can control data on millions of users,
Oh, I see what you mean.
but that control doesn't necessarily mean they're doing something evil with it.
Yeah, I
It
know.
it's
It could.
just
It could. Yeah. So from our perspective, it's just like, okay, you have access to our folders, to our pictures, and like
yeah,
some
yeah,
necessary stuff. But from their perspective, since they don't know that, it might look like, oh no, they actually are like going your phone and
exactly,
manually like scrolling and all that. Yeah.
exactly.
It's to
So
create a narrative.
exactly. So then when you have an FBI director saying stuff like that and then adding this is a tool that is ultimately within the control of the Chinese government, and to me it screams out with national security concerns, but then it sounds a lot like fear mongering or like
Yeah, it does.
propaganda. Um and that's just another way of looking at it to me. Like, it's possible that they're just using this as a sort of like Saddam Hussein had WMD type thing,
Yeah.
where it's just like it's just it's creating a narrative for the American people, so that when they do something to China, the American people will be on the side of the American government,
I can see that. Yeah.
as opposed to just being like completely unwarranted. But that is interesting though.
Kind of, isn't that kind of like what they're doing in Russia as well? Like how they're making Ukraine look like the bad people
Yeah,
in Russia
to their
and
people.
everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. 100%. Yeah, that's a great point actually. And actually this story, or this not this story, this hearing, I think came after the news that I think about 2 weeks ago or so, the Canadian government banned TikTok from all of its government employees.
Hmm.
So all Canadian government employees are banned from TikTok. And
Okay.
and I think again the reasoning was that they're under the impression that the Chinese government are basically spying on them through TikTok. Um so
But
yeah.
I don't think that's strange though. I don't think that's that strange. I think that I would say that's alright.
What
It
them
just
banning
There
it?
could be other reasons for
yeah,
that as
yeah,
well, though.
Like what? Oh, like
Because
unprofessionalism and stuff.
or even like the risk of them saying the wrong things on the platform, whether it be in like
Mm,
DMs or stuff. Because
mm,
um I didn't read it myself, but someone told me that there was a news article about someone who worked at the government here in the UK
mm,
who was talking about like COVID variants and like, oh, they're gonna get scared of this new variant and stuff like that, like saying they are the ones who, pushing it out. And a lot of information got leaked, and now it's just like a lot of conspiracy theories
we
coming
spoke
on,
about
like,
that last week. The
did we?
the
I don't.
Matt Hancock and his WhatsApp leaks.
Was it? No, it was Facebook. The one I'm talking about is Facebook.
Oh,
So I
okay.
don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Last week we spoke about the Matt Hancock's WhatsApp messages leaking, and how him and his aide were essentially like discussing how they can use the new variant to scare people back into
Yeah.
Oh, right, I remember now.
yeah,
Mhm.
back into a lockdown, which they did. They had the conversation on the 13th, and then on the 14th they announced it. But yeah, insane. Like I said before on this platform, man, I am never using TikTok. I'm never using TikTok.
100%.
If anything, like if I were to, the only time you would ever see me on TikTok, and this is like running on the idea that TikTok will be around by then, is if this thing like pops off mega, and I can hire someone to run the TikTok on their phone.
AKA James.
On your phone, not me. Like, I don't, you can do that on your own. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time I'll ever have TikTok. Other than that, no, I'm not running TikTok. I'm not using it to promote. Like a couple doctors even on YouTube. What's his name? There's a doctor I watch on YouTube. His name is Dr. Mike. And I don't know if he's done it, but he has considered removing his account from TikTok, because as much good as he does spreading like good information and stuff like that, he feels like there's just so much negativity on TikTok that he's hoping if he deletes it, the people who are there to watch his TikToks will also like remove themselves from TikTok.
Yeah,
Or
that's
just-
a really good gesture.
or just promote like leaving TikTok altogether. Because like you said earlier, like some of the stuff that get floated around TikTok is just a massive waste of time, or just like incredibly dangerous or misinformed, and they're the most viral things that go around. So yeah, man. Let us know in the comments how you feel about TikTok. Do you have TikTok? If so, like, how do you feel about this story? Like, the director of national intelligence and the FBI director are like, TikTok is a bit mad. It's a U.S. national security issue. So we'll see about that. We'll see how that progresses. We'll see. I want to know how long it takes for the U.S. to ban the app, if they decide to ban the app.
Didn't they decide to ban it during the Trump administration?
I think they wanted to. They spoke about wanting to ban it, but they never actually did. So, because it's still here, I can still download it.
Yeah.
And they're still discussing it. And I think the Canadian government are discussing whether or not they want to spread the ban to the general population and not just the government employees.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see about that. We'll see how that story progresses. Third story of the day. This one is a little bit of the Dunya'S gone. The Dunya'S gonna end soon. So the headline goes, asteroid is headed towards Earth, may arrive on Valentine's Day 2046, according to NASA. So NASA had been monitoring this. NASA always monitors all like what do you call them? Cosmic objects, I guess is what you would call them. That might be heading towards the Earth's general direction, and so they have a scale that they like to use. What is it called again? The Torino Impact Hazard Scale. So it goes from 0 to 10. 0 saying it has no chance of hitting Earth, and then 10 like very, very likely to hit Earth. So this one that's currently heading towards Earth, which is being called the asteroid 2023 DW. DW, I don't know what it stands for. Has is on the scale ranking number
But I'm getting scared actually.
1.
What?
1.
Oh, okay. Let's
1.
go.
It's only a 1. So according to NASA, are they scientists? I guess they're scientists, right? According to these the NASA expert scientists, there's a very low chance of this actually ever hitting us. Is a 1 in 560 chance of it hitting Earth. But it's an interesting topic because apparently the size of the asteroid that's heading towards us is about the size of an Olympic swimming pool, which I think is 100 meters lengthwise, right? And or is it 50 meters? I think it's 50 meters lengthwise, and I don't know its width.
And for the football players, how many football pitches? Because we don't know that Olympic too.
Oh, I don't. It's not that big compared to a football pitch. It's not that big compared to a football pitch, but it's still massively impactful. Like that size hitting Earth. So I have here on my notes that 10 years ago, a meteor less than half the size of this coming asteroid exploded over exploded over Russia, a city in Russia, and that caused a shockwave that blew out across 200 square miles and injured roughly 1,500 people. So if one comes the double that size, then I don't know if the damage will be exponential or just double as well. But if it was just double as well, that's 400 square miles, of windows.
I mean,
just
it depends
shattering.
where it would land, no?
That's true too. If it lands in like central London,
That's GG.
that's basically GG for London, essentially. Or oh my goodness, like New York City is even more over for them. I think they're smaller than London. Yeah, man. So, where was it? So while the contact with the asteroid seems unlikely, scientists have been preparing for such an encounter for years. So last October, NASA confirmed the agency's Double Asteroid Redirection Test, acronym DART, mission that had successfully changed the travel path of a small asteroid by slamming a spacecraft into it. See, now
That's really nice.
I never knew this thing existed. This DART thing, where they would hit the asteroid so that it travels away from us, right? But I've always seen it on TV. Have you lot have seen this, right? In sci-fi, where they
Yeah, I have.
they do all
But
the
it's
math.
the one that attaches. It's the one that attaches and it just has a booster on it and it pushes it. That's the only one I've seen. Maybe I've watched
or like
a cartoon.
it explodes enough so that it removes the from the path going to Earth. I think that's so cool, bro. Like stuff that you see on sci-fi and it happens in real life. Like I think that's so cool. Like how we're just able to do that. We have that power. Like no asteroid will ever hit us again.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Like what a great.
Yeah, they did the test on it last year, I believe.
Yeah,
towards the end of last year.
Yeah, October.
I actually watched it. It was interesting to watch.
Oh, you watched it live?
Yeah.
And how was it? Was it like how did they do it? Was it like did they bomb it? Did they have like a booster on it that just like moved it out the way? That was like attached to it?
No, they just literally just crashed into it.
They just crashed like a flying object to it?
Yeah, I think it was a satellite that they're no longer using.
Oh, that's cool. I was thinking they would like send a missile or something.
Yeah.
That
sounds cool.
That's so cool, man. Have you lot ever seen the have you like ever seen the way the Earth moves, or like the way our solar system moves? It's so fun, cause like
No.
like if you watch it, like if you watch the diagrams, right? You'll see like the circle like this. This is our solar system, and then the sun is in the middle, and everything is sort of just rotating around it, right?
Yeah.
So on a 2D panel, that's what it looks like. But like because the universe, well, according to scientists, the theory is the universe is forever expanding, right?
Hmm.
The way it actually works is that the word isn't falling, but the solar system is expanding, and it's expanding with the universe, so it's moving with the universe, right? So it's always traveling. So like, so imagine it. Okay, cool. We'll just call it falling because I don't really know how to explain it.
Yeah.
But as they're spinning like this, it's also falling. So it's kind of
Okay.
like leaving a trail behind it as well, as it's like moving like down or that way. But everything is still
Hmm.
just, all the other planets are just spinning around the sun, but they're all like moving towards a certain direction as well. It's really really
Not
cool.
not seen that. Yeah,
It's
that's
really
really. It
cool.
sounds fascinating. Yeah.
It's really really cool to watch. Like you never really think of it that way because like all the um all the diagrams we see are always 2D, but in the
Mm.
3D it's moving. It's always moving and expanding with the universe. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
If you guys get a chance to watch it, watch it. It's the diagram of it all anyway. But it's all
Yeah.
just all of that is just I don't know.
But do you guys watch the movie on Netflix called Look Up, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio
I
and
haven't seen it.
do you know like the movie was about?
It's about some scientists, no, and then like an asteroid hitting them.
Yeah, so it's about some scientists. They find out that asteroid is heading towards Earth, and they are basically just going on TV shows, going on everywhere to warn people, but nobody seems to care that is
Mm.
hitting them. And
Mm.
they basically turn these scientists into memes, like saying, "Oh, these guys are like crying, oh, the world's gonna die," and it becomes like a saying, "The world's gonna die," but no one cares. And then when it actually happens, people just start freaking out because there's no such happening, and it shows just the frustration of the scientists. They're warning, but nobody's like heeding their warning. Do you think that's how it's gonna be? Like if it's gonna come towards us, or do you think it's gonna be like I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2012 they said there's like a prediction that the world is gonna end.
Yeah,
And
but the 2012 one wasn't like scientific based.
no, I understand, but like I'm just saying, when they talked about the 2012, like the world ending, it was a prediction, and a lot of people believed, and there was like movies made about it. So
Mm.
for me, at least, I was a bit anxious, and around 2022 when when it was like midnight and it's heading towards 2022. I remember I saw this flying balloon, like when they put like a candle and they like fly a balloon or
Yeah.
something. I saw that and my first instinct was like, oh, there's like a video just coming towards us.
Nah,
Yeah, I was very anxious.
I think if it was a real threat, they would let us know and that we would know. Like, I think, but again, like with this dot thing, I don't think it's actually ever really a massive threat. Um, but yeah, I don't, but again, like going back to that 2012 thing, it was just like, do you remember where that prediction came from?
No, not really.
It was from the Mayan calendars. So the Mayan calendar, their calendar ended on 2012.
Is it? Is
So
that
what?
the
Wait, did
reason?
I just say 2012? On 2012,
Okay.
their calendar ended on 2012. But their calendar previously had also predicted a lot of things. Some of the things came to happen. Like they happened. Some of the things that they predicted actually happened. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, their calendar's ending in 2012. That must mean that it's the end of the world." And then a couple like religious people were like, when I say religious people, it was mostly a lot of Christians, like pastors and all these things that like agreed with the prediction, but it turned out to be nothing. I think one person like sold like all of their like properties and belongings because they were like, yeah, it's over anyway. But yeah, that whole 2012 thing was, I never believed it. A lot of stuff happened, like Coney, like Wasn't Coney in 2012 as well, right? I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah, 2012 was not a good year for a lot of people. It was such a
Mhm.
weird year. I remember that film. That film was so rubbish too.
Yeah, it was 2012.
That film was rubbish. But yeah, man. It was interesting that they said it might arrive on Valentine's Day 2046. Imagine you're just there, like, giving your wife flowers and things, and then all of a sudden, like, asteroids start showering on you. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, actually, you know what? Speaking of TV, Last of Us. Anyone?
Oh, still no.
No?
I did not have the time.
Bro.
I really did not have the time for that.
Episode 8 was released on Sunday. I haven't seen it yet. Bro, I have to watch it. I have to watch episode 8 before I even say a lot of things. I should have seen it before coming to this podcast. That's my bad. But depending on how they ended this and how well they ended this, there's a chance. Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Have you seen House of the Dragon?
Yes.
Okay. So depending on how they ended this and if it's been ended well, I think that we can forgive HBO Max for Game of Thrones last season.
Okay.
I think
Is that good?
Combined with House of the Dragons and how good House of the Dragons was, like, when I finished watching that show, I told people House of the Dragons, when it was released, I think last year, was the best show that came out last year. For a fact, 100%.
I can agree, 100%.
House of the Dragon, and I didn't. To be fair, I didn't watch a lot of shows from that year too, but House of the Dragons was so well, filmed and directed and scripted and written. Like, oh my goodness! But I didn't think it was enough. I was like, you know what? They always do this. HBO Max, you know what? The first season, always good, always good. We have to wait. But combined with The Last of Us, brother, I think HBO Max has again, I keep saying Max, HBO once again has released the best TV show of the year. And it's only March.
Oh, maybe I have to check it out then.
As far as I'm concerned, bro, they've released the best show again of the year. Again. And I think combine that with combine that with House of the Dragons from last year, it's okay. We can forgive them for season 8 and 7 of Game of Thrones. I at least me, I can forgive them. You know what? Like, cool. Like, you know what? It was bad, but because you've released these 2 seasons, I'm good. I can forgive you for it. Like, because what people forget about Game of Thrones is always like those first 4, 5, 6 seasons were so good. It was so good. So it's like, I know it ended terribly, and that's a big deal. But man, those first 4 seasons, especially first 4 seasons, and now these 2 seasons of Last of Us and House of the Dragons, man, amazing. And I'm hearing that they're gonna go straight into season 2 of they've already like prepared season 2 of Last of Us, and season 2 of House of the Dragons is already on its way. So
do you know when the House of Dragons is gonna be
probably
released?
next year.
Oh, that's a long time.
But I don't care. This is my thing. Is like, if you're gonna give me 10 episodes of really quality TV show, 2 years, no problem.
Okay.
I agree with that.
2 years, no problem. I'll wait for it.
I mean, I'll be annoyed, but
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, if you're gonna give me quality, then
Quality.
it is what it is. I'll wait for it.
And how, bro? Like, especially if you're gonna give me House of the Dragon season 1 again, but like with a
Yeah, I still
different
need to watch
story.
that.
Oh my goodness! I'll wait. How long did we wait for what was it? Like freaking actually not that how long we wait. How long are we still waiting for Hunter x Hunter?
Oh yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, Hunter x Hunter is a different story. But I'd say like Attack on Titan. for
Attack on
example.
Titan. Yeah, you're right.
Do you know the
Man.
new season is out? The final season.
No, it's not.
I thought it was a movie.
I mean,
Yeah,
it was like
part one. We got part one. Part two is in I think summer or autumn.
But I thought part 2 was a movie.
Yeah, it's the final season, part one.
Oh.
And it's like an hour long apparently.
Oh.
Have you watched it, Camille?
No, but
Oh, I have. Yeah. It's
I mean,
an
I
hour
know
long.
what happens, but
Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
happened.
because
I
you're a
will
manga
watch it.
reader.
I will watch it. But I'm not in a rush.
So you haven't seen Last of Us as well, yeah?
No, I haven't.
Bro, I was saying to James, we can forgive Game of Thrones, bro. We can forgive HBO for Game of Thrones. For those last 2 seasons. We can forgive them. Cuz the House of Dragons and Last of Us, bro, like man, Last of Us. And you know what I love as well, yeah? Episode 3 of Last of Us, yeah? How do I do this without spoiling it? Last of Us season 3, episode 3 was about you guys have played the game though, right?
No, but I watched my brother
a
play.
while ago, yeah.
Oh, okay. But do you know the story? James?
Nope.
Oh.
What I know is that it's basically a journey. I guess finding something. I'm not sure what,
Cool.
but they just go
Let me
and
say this. Let me say this instead. This show, the way HBO did this show, yeah? Like the game is about zombies, basically, right? Or these fungus controlled dead corpses. So it's not actually like zombies in the way we think of zombies of resurrected like dead people. No, it's it's a fungus controlling dead people. And so that's what the game is about. This show did so well of portraying this zombie show. And brother, I'll be honest with you, I'm trying to think. More people have died from other people than actual zombies themselves.
Okay,
That's giving me like Walking Dead.
But the thing with
this is what happens on Walking Dead.
but that doesn't happen until the later season of Walking Dead, though. No, I think that happened a little later on because a lot of them died in the beginning.
I mean, yeah, I guess
a lot
from
of them,
what we can see.
I don't even
sure.
know. You know what? Let me not even talk about Walking Dead. I'm just talking about the I just want to talk about the from what we can see. From what we can see, like obviously a lot of people have died from the zombies themselves, but obviously because we're in an apocalypse. But bro, like the show when they said, I don't know if they said this, but I remember seeing a quote where they said the show is about humanity. It's not about zombies, it's about humanity. And the way they've portrayed the show is exactly how they've said it would be, about humanity. And the fragility and vulnerability. Bro, it's a great show. Oh my god, it's a beautiful show. Next week, by the end of the week, I would have been watched the last episode. So next week, I'll give my review on the entire thing. But this is brilliant show, amazing show. Highly recommend. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Yeah, sick, very sick, very sick.
Yeah, you convinced me when you said it redeemed the last season of Game of Thrones. You convinced me. I think I'm gonna watch it.
HBO's done it again. HBO doesn't miss. Honestly, they don't miss, bro. Like all shows that HBO have released have always been good. Like barring a few seasons here and there, but like the shows that they release are always so good. Like like this House of the Dragons, Game of Thrones, The Last of Us, The Wire, The Sopranos. I think is no, not The Sopranos. Um, oh, what's another one? Like The Oz. Bro, Sex in the City. You know, like that's not a lot of people's cup of tea, but Sex in the City like revolutionized TV. Do you know what I mean? Like the shows that HBO come up with, are all the originals that they have are always so good. Better than Netflix, 100%. Better than Netflix, 100%. Netflix is just bad now, as far as I'm concerned. Like it doesn't even hold up anymore. So next week, I would have watched episode 8, and I'll give you guys the deals by then, the review by then, non-spoiler review hopefully, because I don't know if they would. I don't think they would have watched it by then too. Let me see if I have anything else here. Asteroid, China, TikTok. Cool. People, it's Florida Man news time. Florida Man
Let's
news
go.
time. Florida Man. I gotta have a theme
We should have
song.
like, yeah, I literally about to say that. We should have at least some
We
for
should
that
have a
one.
theme song for Florida Man news time. You know, there's a Netflix show called Florida Man. They have like they've
No.
released like a docu series or whatever is on Netflix called Florida Man. So I think we're entitled to some royalties from that because that's our
Royalties.
idea. Yeah, that's our idea. They just literally snatched it off us, bro. But anyway, headline goes, bro. By the way, how long have I been recording? Hour 22. This entire time I've done nothing but scratch my nose, right? Because I have this thing like inside my nose, like that's really bothering me, but I can't take it out or whatever. And I've been scratching my nose the entire time here, and my nose has been red the entire time. It's gotten progressively red the entire time. So if you've noticed that, I'm sorry. I'm not picking my nose, but I'm just like, it's so annoying. I think it's allergies, whatever. So headline goes, Florida man arrested for poisoning multiple neighborhood pets with antifreeze.
What?
Florida man, let's have a talk real quick, man. What's happening? What's happening in Florida, yo? So the man's called Jeremy Gordon Stromwall, age 36 of Dunelon. It's a great name for a city. Dunelon. Faces 4 counts of aggravated animal cruelty. So the way he got found out was that this couple or this family had a cat called Mr. Cat. And the cat was taken to an animal hospital after exhibiting symptoms of illness and seizures. So during the treatment, the cat died, and like the doctors and stuff like did tests on it, and they discovered that it was likely that the cat was poisoned. So the authorities brought in an expert from University of Florida College of Veterinary Medicine, and the forensic thing that they do, you know, when they open up the stuff like that and test it. So the forensic stuff that they did on the cat determined that the animal died from ethylene glycol intoxication, suggesting that the cat had ingested antifreeze. So the tests on the and then so they thought that they saw this, they were like, oh, this cat had died from possibly suggesting antifreeze. So what they did was they exhumed bodies of other pets that died in a sort of similar way. So they exhumed the remains of a dog named Bella and 2 other cats named Little Peanut and Tiger, and they did tests on the bodies too, and they determined that those 3 pets had also been poisoned with ethylene glycol. So they were like doing some investigations and blah 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 blah, and they found they discovered what do you call this, the antifreeze on one of the bowls in Jeremy's house. And so they drew up a search warrant and they went to the house, and on December 22, they found 3 containers of antifreeze, including one that's nearly empty. And these were like antifreeze concentrate. I don't know if what the difference are.
So wait, is antifreeze a certain poison?
Antifreeze, let me Google it real quick, is a type of it's not a poison per se, because you can buy it in like B&Q and stuff like this.
Okay.
Let me double check it though before I say something stupid.
Sounds like a tool or so, like something like a.
So
to shut down
antifreeze is exactly like the word. So it's an additive that lowers the freezing point of water. Antifreeze is stops the water in your engine's cooling system from freezing during the winter months.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So yeah, it's something that you can kind of just get anywhere, obviously, because you need it for your car.
Okay.
So yeah, they went there and they went to his house and they saw a bunch of antifreeze containers and one that was nearly empty, and they also saw multiple cans of tuna and fish flavored rat poison. So that's interesting.
Okay.
What's a fish flavored rat poison? I don't understand this. Is there a poison that you can buy that's fish flavored, or did he get rat poison and flavor it fish?
I don't know. That's already weird.
But it seems like he has a really bad thing about cats, and they don't really go into it.
So wait,
it.
he was targeting primarily cats.
Pets. So
Pets, yeah, pets. Yeah.
So as far as they're concerned, 3 cats and 1 dog.
Yeah.
So the sheriff had some words. He said, "As sheriff, I am committed to investigating allegations of cruelty towards animals, including pets, livestock, and working animals. I'm proud of the work that my deputies did in this case, and I'm happy we have gotten some justice for Mr. Cat, Bella, Little Peanut, Tiger, and their owners."
Great names as well.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, this is very strange, man. This guy, Florida, man.
Florida, I don't know what is in their water, The thing is, bro, Florida has some of the greatest beaches of like ever, bro. Disney World is in Florida, bro. What's wrong with? How can you have Disney World, but then have people that like this? I'm so confused. Why pets? They don't. Again, it's another story where they don't really go into the whys of things.
Okay. Well, okay, I see. But then this is the time where we can make theories, I guess. What if these pets, obviously we're not going to blame the victims, but what if these cats were being very annoying, loud, and obnoxious?
It's possible. It's possible because people do that. Like when a dog just doesn't stop barking. There are reports of people just killing the dog.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
don't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes like the dog, like, you talk to the owner and the owner doesn't really care. And so some people will take it into their own hands and just kill the dog.
True.
So it's possible that that's what's happened here. But yeah, very crazy. Florida man, you have outdone yourself again. And till next week, I suppose.
Yeah.
And just to cap off the day, to round it all up, we're gonna go into Fate in Humanity Restored news, and this one comes from China. Hero passerby scales building in China to save boy who fell out window onto a ledge. So in the city of Changzhou, a casually dressed middle-aged man, this is how they described him, was recorded scaling a pipe. You know the pipe that goes around the building, the rain pipes.
The drain pipe.
Yeah, the drain pipes. So he was like climbing on it to reach the second floor ledge of a building where a child was crying because he fell like onto it from a window. It was very lucky because the ledge isn't like this big. and
Yeah.
I guess he fell out the second floor window, and then he just landed there. I don't. Maybe he didn't fall out. Maybe he climbed onto the window and he climbed onto the ledge. The child was crying. So once he got there, he was like walking along the edge and secured the child. Like I think it was like on a rope or something. What it was. And so the people from the window above,
Mhm.
like got the rope, tied it up, and they were able to um, get him back up to from his home. So from what I gather from this, so this is the second floor, this is the third floor, and the child fell out of the window of the third floor and onto the second floor's ledge.
Mhm.
And again, the ledge
Yeah.
is this big. So this child, hey, lucky guy.
Very, very lucky, and also very lucky for the amazing guy that was there at the right time.
The hero smiling returned via the city. He went back down via the same pipe, and and they don't know who this guy is.
Anonymous, yeah.
Yeah, Good Samaritan. They just call him the Good Spider Samaritan. They just saved him, so he could be Spider-Man. Still don't know who his identity. You know what I'm saying? Hidden identity and all these things. He could be Spider-Man for all we know. I just
But
never.
Spider-Man is not known for being well dressed and middle
No. He said casually dressed.
Casually dressed. Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Well, he would be middle-aged now, no?
Yeah, maybe.
But to you, Good Samaritan, well done, man. Good for you.
We'll give you the Dunya trophy.
Dunya
Can we do that?
trophy.
Can we go
Do
away?
you guys have the ability to climb a pipe?
No.
Do you have the strength for that?
No. No. But I honestly, when I was listening to the story you're telling me right now, I think I'll be the person that like, no, I can do this, and I just go on and like, oh, you know, everybody, their faces light up, and they're like, oh, he's gonna save the kid. I just go down. I can't. Unfortunately, I can't.
Oh, that's facts. That's so facts. That reminds me of actually I'm not gonna tell the story. Um I think I think the pipe is too smooth.
Mhm.
I don't think I have that grip. If it was like a tree, I can do it.
No, but can't you just, plant your feet in the wall, push yourself back, and you grab the back of the pipe? So you're kind of, you kind of push yourself off the wall, but you're still.
I'll be honest with you. There's a lot of pipe talk going on right now, and I don't want to keep talking about pipes.
Okay.
So we're gonna cut the story here. We're gonna wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. I know we were down a few boys today, but we're able to still do our show and carry on and doing our thing. I'm so sorry if me scratching my nose has bothered you this entire time watching this. It's bothered me way worse, believe me, you. But irregardless, thank you for tuning in. Any last words, guys?
No, I mean, I think I enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed watching the last episode.
Thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you. Again, Camille's Twitch link will be in the description below. Check us out. The like button will be right above that link. So click the like button if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want more, man. We appreciate all that. And let us know how you feel about some of these stories today. Heartbreaking ones, crazy ones. And if you haven't already, check out some of the videos we've already uploaded, man. Like I said earlier, the catalog is not that deep, but it's a catalog. It's enough to call it a catalog, you know what I'm saying? It's enough to call it a discography. So check those out if you can, when you can, and I'm sure you'll enjoy the time there as well. Guys, thank you for joining me today. Thank you to the audience for joining us today, and we'll see you again for episode 8, part 2. next week. Masalam.